Let's move on to a topic that's very important for us, which is race and religion. I think I know your answers, given based on what you've told us before, but I just want some confirmations. You were asked some questions on the Ban Islam Now page a while ago. Yes, not so long ago, but anyway. This is a community page reported by the UK Home Affairs Parliamentary Committee to Facebook for being openly Islamophobic. This is in the 14th report of session 2016-2017, paragraph 13. This Facebook page has an anti-Islam agenda. I'm just telling you that. It purports to be a political organization in New York. It calls on people to remove Islam, quote, breaking the bonds of oppression that have shackled and terrorized too many for too long. It has about 18,000 followers. Language used on the page, take it from me, from our perspective, is incendiary, provoking hatred and dislike. So there's one post there up since the 7th of December 2016, which alleges that the Quran commands you to kill gays, stone women who have sex, coerce child brides, kidnap and rape non-Muslim women, general calls for genocide of deviants, dissidents, and unbelievers, and a strict law to murder anyone who leaves this cult. And it declares that human rights and Islam are incompatible. That particular post was engaged with by over 500 people, including 200 shares, and it was shared several times by one account, which had nearly 4,000 followers. And it also got picked up by other groups with similar racial ideological agendas, Scottish page against mass immigration, and a French nationalist page. There is another post up since July 2014. It has an image of a group of men with guns taking aim at another group of people, titled Muslims Gunning Down Other Muslims for Being the Wrong Kind of Muslims. An ideology that persuades minds to murder those who believe even slightly differently, wages war with the whole earth. And it has got some quotes, and I quote, "Are there still any academics, liberals, or others who see no evil miscreants, who cannot see Islam is the Nazi movement of our times?" This page is still available online, though it has stopped making public posts since December 2016. Then there is another page called The Truth About Talmud. Some of it is up there. Community page reported by the UK Home Affairs Parliamentary Committee again. It's a website of the KKK leader David Duke. His website has dubious claims like, as a photo of Orthodox Jews with hands linked and dancing. Caption, Talmud adherents celebrate the bombing and murdering of Gentiles in the Gaza Strip. A meme that states 1.3 million American families lost their homes to foreclosure in 2007. Meanwhile, billions of your tax dollars continue to purchase beautiful new homes with subsidized mortgages in Israel. Now, I'm not suggesting that you personally or your organization or any of those organizations sitting at the table subscribe to or accept any of this or find any of this anything other than absolutely unacceptable. Okay, let's get that clear. So my purpose of raising this is slightly different, and I'll come to it in a minute. Another meme that claims a Jewish rabbi has said non-Jews exist to serve Jews, and so on. Now, Facebook's position before the UK Home Affairs Parliamentary Committee was that neither the Ban Islam page that I talked to you about nor the Truth About Talmud page violated its own community standards. And if you want to see the question, I can take you to it, but you don't need it. Yeah. I just want to understand, I'm not criticizing you, but that remains a current position?
Yes.
Thank you.
As I understand it, I've not looked at these pages recently, but yes.
there are a number of other questions, but that question has been very helpful. I think the same philosophy applies to other posts of a similar nature. Now, essentially, race and religion, you'll understand, Mr. Milner, different countries can have different standards as to what is acceptable. You agree?
Yes.
So, for example, I think the US, you can burn the Quran, the Bible, in the name of free speech. And people have done, certainly they have burned the Quran. But we don't allow that. And if you burnt the Quran or the Bible or any other religious text in Singapore, you will be in jail. Okay? No two questions about it. And I want to share with you an example. There was a pastor, Christian pastor, who was on YouTube, which is, I suppose, somewhat represented, who said to his flock, you know, these Buddhists, they do this chanting, they do this kind of praying, it's all wrong. They are, he made various derogatory remarks about Buddhists in general. Our approach was that the police spoke with him, as a result of which he took down the post, and he apologized. And our approach for platforms as well is that any such content will have to be out, and no two ways about it. We had religious leaders here, sitting where you are sitting, who urged us to continue to keep to that approach in Singapore, religiously one of the most diverse places in the world, peaceful, racially, religiously harmonious. And the majority of our citizens support that approach. Now here there is, I think, a contrast in values, because I can perfectly accept Facebook has certain community standards, but those values will not be consistent with our values. And this is something that we need to work together to make sure that, at least in Singapore, our values get reflected. I don't know whether you have any comments on that. Yes, yeah.
I think Mr. Tan would be better on this than me, because he is local and can answer those.
Someone will ask him. Yeah.
Oh, you don't, well, fine. Okay.
You are feeling that
No, it's
there's
just
no
that
equal opportunity.
I do think that Mr. Tan, as a Singaporean, who's lived here all his life, has got more expertise.
Yes.
And he's as expert as me on our community standards and their application.
Right.
But he can also address the specifics of the local context much more effectively than I can.
Right. I was asking you a broader question, in the sense that it's not just Singapore. Many countries in the world have different standards.
Yes.
In Turkey, for example, they do not allow you to say anything against the founding leader,
Ataturk, yes.
Ataturk, Kemal Ataturk. So, one, you will do it if you are required to do by law, and two, you have the ability to do it if you are required to do by law. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you.